Welcome everyone, Adam the Woo here. Happy Saturday to you. Hope you guys are having a great weekend. Coming to you from Longwood, Florida. There's rain on the ground, dew in the air, and the sun has protruded up and has risen here on this wonderful Saturday. The first completed day, official, if you will, day of the weekend. It's my second channel, daily blog channel. It's TheDailyWoo. And check out this boardwalk that actually has an open gate inviting us in, but be careful because the boardwalk can be very slippery when wet. And I just did mention that it rained. It's been raining here a lot in Florida. In fact, torrential downpours, if you will, Florida summer style, have actually festooned the landscape. So we need to be careful walking on this boardwalk, which has been provided by the Florida Forest Service, and the signs along the boardwalk and the educational playground stumps were made possible by the Urban and Community Forestry Grant Funds receiving the United States Department of Agricultural Forest Services, etc., etc., etc. So what exactly is this boardwalk for? This boardwalk was created years ago in celebration of one of the oldest cypress trees and tallest cypress trees in existence. If you look at old postcards, they actually used to call the cypress tree the cypress. Look at this. Look at this. A mosquito. That is a mosquito gnawing on my flesh. Hopefully that does not pulse up in front of us while we're filming the vlog. The Cypress Methuselah, in the Bible, Methuselah was the oldest man in existence. So they named the cypress tree, which was the oldest and tallest cypress tree in existence here in Central Florida. After that, the Cypress Methuselah. And this boardwalk has markers based on how tall the tree was, starting with 1 inch. And it festoons that way straight up hundreds of feet towards the cypress tree. The Cypress Methuselah, also known and renamed the Senator. There's some little placards here. The height of the Senator is portrayed on the boardwalk ahead. These heights are approximate, of course, based on growth rates of a cypress trees and optimal habitat. That lady is screaming and yelling at something. I'm not really sure what those two women over there, the bikers, maybe they're getting in an argument about what is the tallest cypress tree. The cypress tree definitely creates a lot of controversy with women bike riders. So anyway, back to the placards. Year 1, approximately 1500 BC. We're not in BC. We have gone into the other region, the non-BC regions. 1500 BC. That was a long time ago. That was 3,500 years, more than 3,500 years ago. The Senator started to sprout. That's obviously not a picture from 1500 BC. That's just an example of what the Senator, the tallest cypress tree, would have looked like back in 1500 BC, which stands for before Christ, 1500 BC. That was a long time ago. 35 plus 100 years ago, the tree started to festoon itself from the ground at the end of this. 60 feet, we've walked 60 feet now. At 50, I'm having trouble reading. I have not had any caffeine yet. At 50 years old, the Senator is 60 feet tall because young cypress trees have to compete with other cypress trees. Man, they are yelling and gallivanting and carrying on back there. All right, we're going to move quickly and get away from their cackling and their yakking and their yelling and their laughing and yelling and screaming. 100 feet. We have made it 100 feet. At 80 years old, the Senator is 100 feet tall. In a good habitat, cypress trees can grow rapidly and reach heights of over 100 feet. That's massive. After this, the upward growth slows, and the trunk slowly gets thicker. So we have a thick trunk on the cypress trees. At 200 years old, the Senator has reached 120 feet in height. These are only a few other cypress trees close to the size in the Spring Hammock Preserve. One such tree is the Lady Liberty, which you will also see ahead. So we're going to look at two massive cypress trees over 100 feet tall. Look at this, 160 feet. And what is that 160 feet? Significant? What does that mean? Significant? What's the significance of 160 feet? Well, that was the height. At 3,500 years old, the Senator had reached its full height of 160 feet. In 1925, a hurricane knocked off the top, leaving the tree at a whopping 126 feet tall. So if that hurricane wouldn't have come through, it would have been 160 feet in the air. But now, 126 feet is all that was left of the Senator. And the Senator is straight ahead that way. Are you excited to see the Senator around all these other little small cypress trees? When I say small, they're all pretty massive. However, the Senator towers over them like a Cypress Methuselah, just like the old postcard said. The question is, are you excited to see this historical landmark here in Central Florida that created this walkway specifically for this? Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the tree fell victim to an arsonist a couple years ago. Someone came out here with bad intentions and set fire to the tree from the innards up, and the tree is actually burned down. Cypress Methuselah is gone. It is no more except some relics which actually exist right there. The stump is still here. So if you're in this area and you want to see what is left, or I could just show you right now. It's very sad. Here it is. This placard has been here for years. Big tree, the Cypress Methuselah, the Senator. And that's all that's left. You can see the charred remains of what originally was a 160-foot tall cypress tree. Look at that. You can actually see the inner workings of the tree, the shell, the bark around the edges. I guess really a cypress tree doesn't have bark, but the outer nether regions of the tree. Look at that. Imagine how tall that would have been. And how thick and large the girthiness of that tree. And look at that. You can actually see where the fire was inside the tree. Someone with very bad intentions walked down this, which was created specifically for this. Walked down here and set fire to the tree. Definitely a huge, huge bummer. I've been wanting to check this out for years, but I'm always busy doing other things. I neglected to come out here and see the tree when it existed. I waited too long, and now I am here after the fact, and the tree is nothing more than a charred, burned shell. A brief history right here of the Senator, a state champion bald citrus tree. That's what the tree used to look like right there. The 1600s, Seminole and other Native Americans used the Senator as a landmark. And look at this. The Senator becomes an unofficial tourist attraction. Visitors back in the day used to have to jump log to log through the swamps to avoid the wetlands to get their picture in front of the Senator. That was before they built this. And look at this picture here. Those two guys are standing side to side, arm to arm length. That's the girthiness of the Senator. Look at the girthiness of how big that Senator was. That's an old photo. What year do you think that photo was based on the outfits they're wearing there? It says late 1800s. Okay, I just answered my own question. It was the late
1800s. Did they take photos in the late 1800s like that? Maybe they did. Who knows? Who am I to argue with this? In 1925, lightning struck it in a hurricane. It went from 165 feet to 126 feet. That's the hurricane I told you back there. Then the Longwood Fire Department, they installed lightning rods in the top of it so there would be no more damage. But obviously, man-made damage happened, and now the tree looks like this. In 1927, the state senator M.O. Overstreet donated the tree and surrounding land to the Seminole County Florida Park. And then in 1929, look at this. President Calvin Coolidge and his wife, they visited the senator and they dedicated this place as a new park. The president, Calvin Coolidge of the United States of America, was standing right there. Calvin Coolidge was right there, so that's pretty awesome. And then, of course, the saddest moment. 2012, the senator was burned by an arson on January 16th, 2012. So that's all that's left. But that's all that's left. There are these remnants here, but there is something that continues on. The sister tree, they call it. And that is located, look at this, Lady Liberty. Right next to the other sister. If that's the sister, would that have been the brother? Brother? Sister. Brother is burned. Sister still remains. The Lady Liberty. This one's only 89 feet tall. 89 feet, but look at how awesome that is. So just imagine, in its heyday, this tree is 89 feet. That one would have been twice at 160 feet, almost twice the size of Lady Liberty. So very, very cool. This was named Lady Liberty by, I believe, by a school, named by students from the Geneva Elementary School in 2005. Lady Liberty stands tall as a symbol of our patriotism. That is awesome. So very cool. It's actually very serene and nice and quiet and peaceful out here. You can actually hear way over in the distance someone with an intercom. I'm not sure if it's a drive-through or a school announcement. You can hear some faint noises over there. And of course the women earlier, they were talking and laughing and having a good time, or maybe arguing, I couldn't really tell. And that was a little bit rambunctious. But other than that, we've got some birds out here. We now have the sun protruding through the limbs of these trees. The nice coolness, Christmas, very humid here in Florida, but right now it's pretty early and it's actually pretty nice. And this is pretty nice. This boardwalk is cool. They actually keep it open so you can come and see Lady Liberty over there. But while you're checking out that tree, you can look at a piece of history here, a piece of massive, awesome Florida and U.S. history that still remains. Little remnants right here of the Cypress Methuselah, the senator. Have a great day. Check down below for my t-shirts. AdamTheWoo.spreadshirt talk. And I will see you tomorrow. But only if you've subscribed. Continue having a great weekend. And also, down below, social networks, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Facebook. Did I mention that one? I did. Goodbye, and goodbye to you, Cypress Methuselah. That's such a great word to say. Methuselah. This actually is a huge bummer. But what are you going to do? Arsonist. Whoa, what's that noise? What's that noise? All right, see you guys later. Love you guys. Bye.